But it looks to me that Robyn just has different rules and expectations for how she would like people to behave in her home. And surprisingly enough, we all have personalities and opinions, and we're not as easily controlled as she might prefer. Kody says it's annoying to everyone that Robyn has the least years of experience in this plural family, but she always speaks like she's the expert on all family matters. I'm not Kody, so I don't know, but I guess love makes you blind. Did Kody deceive her by hiding deep issues in the family? I don't think so. Looking back, all of our cards were on the table, and everything that you see on the camera is everything that was happening was a very accurate representation of the kind of family we had. So what Robyn was getting and what you guys are seeing is the same thing. There were like issues, but we were genuinely a very loving and happy family.
Hey everyone, it's Katie. Welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well. With Sister Wives on a break, it's expected to return sometime between late April and early May. Right now, TLC is airing an 8-episode season of The Baldwins, featuring Alec Baldwin, his wife Hilaria, and their kids. That show premiered on February 23rd in the same time slot as Sister Wives. So once it wraps up, the expectation is that Sister Wives will return to finish out the season. The upcoming episodes will focus heavily on Kody and Robyn's extravagant spending and the ongoing battle over Coyote Pass. The second half of the season will include a tell-all, where Kody will have to answer for some of his past comments. There will also be conversations with Meri about the manipulation she experienced from Robyn, and how she's finally starting to see the truth. As Meri begins to process everything, she's realizing how Robyn misled her for years. Meanwhile, Kody is going to have to face the fallout as more of the women open up and share their stories. And of course, Kody isn't happy about it, throwing a full-on temper tantrum. We know that Suki, who will be hosting the tell-all in the second half of the season, won't ask anything that could make Kody storm off the set. It's also been revealed by Mike Kelty on Patreon that if Suki doesn't follow the network's expectations, she could be fired. Mike Kelty explained that past tell-all hosts didn't return because family members complained about the questions they asked. Once a host is seen as a risk, the network lets them go, meaning previous hosts won't be coming back. Suki has managed to keep the family happy while still asking some questions, but according to Mike Kelty, no one will ever get Kody to answer. The really tough ones, because if they push too hard, they'll lose their job. At the end of the day, TLC is protecting its talent, and we have to remember that this is a reality show, not investigative journalism. There's been a lot of talk about how this season will wrap up and what it means for the future of Sister Wives. Right now, I don't know what's next for the show after this season. According to Melty, filming is still happening, which means there will be a season 20. Beyond that, I have no idea what their plans are. As far as contracts go, the last I heard was that they were signed through season 20. Meanwhile, the family continues to grow apart. Janelle has moved to North Carolina, bought land, and is building a home. Maddie is also building a house. Christine, now living in Utah, recently announced on Instagram that she purchased a second Airbnb. She already owns one in Moab, and now she's adding another in Hurricane in southern Utah. Christine says the new Airbnb will be available for rent in April. It looks like she and David are using their earnings from the show to invest in real estate, creating passive income through Airbnb rentals. Her first property in Moab seems to be doing well, which is likely why she's expanding with a second one. Kudos to Christine for putting her money into smart investments like homes instead of wasting it on things like doll clothes, unlike Robyn. I started this video with clips of Gwendolyn from a couple of years ago because she spoke about the family's financial situation back then. Around 2 years ago, while reacting to Sister Wives Season 17, Gwendolyn shared insights on her YouTube channel. By Season 18, she moved her reactions to Patreon. But after her brother Garrison's passing, she stepped away from discussing Sister Wives altogether. However, during the height of the family fallout, she was much more vocal about what was happening behind the scenes, especially regarding money. There was a lot of tension over finances as the family started to break apart. In Season 17, one of the major storylines was Janelle's struggle to find a place to live. Kody refused to help financially and pressured her to buy Christine's house, which she didn't want to do. He wanted her to keep the home so he could use her credit to his advantage. Meanwhile, Robyn was getting down payments for her house, which added to the frustration. Around that time, a Patreon supporter asked Gwendolyn about the money Kody and Robyn supposedly owed Meri and Janelle. She later shared her response on YouTube, confirming that this has been an ongoing issue for at least 3 seasons. Kody may have intentionally delayed building on Coyote Pass to punish Janelle, especially since she was eager to start construction. but frustrated with how he failed to enforce rules with her kids. Honestly, that makes sense. There doesn't seem to be any other reason for him to stall the process. In polygamous relationships, it's common for men to punish wives who don't obey them. If a wife refuses to comply or struggles to control her children, the husband may withhold support as a form of control. For years, people have speculated that Kody's actions were deliberate. Many believe he refused to help Janelle build as a way to punish her, and delaying the property payoff was just another tactic to keep her trapped. Kody himself has hinted, this season, that the land is one of the only things still tying them together. So, in a way, he's using it to maintain a connection, but at the same time, it's likely part of his punishment. The financial situation between Kody, Robyn, and the rest of the family hasn't gone unnoticed by the kids. They've seen it firsthand for years and have spoken about it, especially when Christine left. Many of the kids noticed that when they visited Robyn's house, her children were given privileges and experiences they never had. Whether it was trips to Disney World or Hawaii, expensive ATVs, or other luxuries, Kody consistently provided extra for Robyn's kids while neglecting the others. Gwendlyn has openly said that she and her siblings felt like outcasts, treated differently from Kody's family with Robyn, but it was clear they weren't fully engaged in the celebration. Gwendlyn admitted that while her dad, Robyn, and her younger siblings were invited to her wedding, she wasn't sure if they would come. She felt like she and her siblings had been shunned by Kody, and he didn't seem to want anything to do with them. Despite that, she really hoped they would attend because she missed them terribly. One fan, Pam, pointed out how Robyn constantly talked about how Christine's divorce affected her, without acknowledging Christine's pain or how it impacted the rest of the family. Another fan asked whether Robyn ever truly wanted a family, or if she just wanted Kody and financial security. Gwendlyn responded that at times, it seemed like Robyn's main goal was self-preservation and making sure her own kids were safe and comfortable. If that was her plan, she definitely succeeded. Another fan, Kayla Sparks, asked if Gwendlyn thought she would ever reconnect with Kody, Robyn, and their kids. She said she truly hoped so because she missed her siblings and hated not seeing them, but she wasn't sure what the future held. In season 19, there was a scene where Robyn told Kody he needed to fix things with the older kids, but according to Gwendlyn, Kody had already shut them out. Most of them had little to no relationship with him, and while some of that was their choice, Kody also didn't seem interested in reconnecting. Gwendlyn also revealed that Robyn played a big role in keeping those relationships broken. In a Q&A before the clip aired, she stated that Robyn was one of the main instigators in the family's conflicts. Christine, for example, couldn't rebuild her relationship with Robyn's kids unless she made amends with Robyn first. Robyn controlled who had access to her children, and the same rule applied to Gwendlyn. If she wanted to stay connected to Aurora, Brianna, Dayton, Solomon, or Aerie, she had to go through Robyn first. Even though Kody and Robyn were invited to her wedding and engagement party, it was clear that the barriers Robyn created still stood in the way of true family reunification, misled about the reality of their situation. However, Gwendlyn completely disagreed with that narrative. She explained that everything viewers saw on camera accurately reflected what was happening behind the scenes. There were definitely issues, but at its core, the family was genuinely loving and happy. So, Robyn's claims that she was deceived or unaware of the deep-rooted problems just didn't add up. Meanwhile, on her Patreon and YouTube, Gwendlyn revealed something even more upsetting. Robyn's kids had apparently been told that she wasn't a safe person to be around. Because of this, they weren't allowed to have a relationship with her. Gwendlyn called this disgusting, especially coming from Robyn, who spent the season in tears, insisting that Kody needed to put in more effort to rebuild relationships with his older kids. The hypocrisy was glaring. It all pointed back to the manipulation at play. Robyn had once said she fell in love with the idea of a big, happy family when she was courting Kody. But if that was truly what she wanted, why was she actively creating so many barriers between the siblings? If anything, it seemed like she was maintaining control rather than fostering unity. But instead of using that money to secure everyone's future, it was spent on Robyn's expensive lifestyle. Gwendlyn has pointed out that Robyn and Kody's priorities have always been clear. They chose to invest in their own comfort rather than ensuring financial stability for the entire family. Robyn's house alone was a major expense, and yet she and Kody constantly acted like they were struggling financially. Meanwhile, other wives like Janelle and Christine had to fight for financial support, and their dreams of building on Coyote Pass were consistently delayed. As for Robyn's recent claims of being deceived, Gwendolyn didn't buy it for a second. She believed Robyn was already laying the groundwork for an eventual exit from the marriage. If and when that happens, Gwendolyn predicted Robyn would blame Kody for misleading her, claiming he never truly wanted polygamy, that he lied about the family dynamic, and that he made promises he couldn't keep. In reality, Gwendolyn saw Robyn as someone focused on self-preservation rather than embracing plural marriage. She joined the family not out of a love for polygamy, but because she wanted security for herself and her children. And if that security ever disappears, she won't hesitate to rewrite the story to suit her needs. Janelle and Mary are in a completely different position. They didn't take the same steps as Christine to secure their financial independence early on, which is why they've had a harder time walking away with what they deserve. Gwendolyn pointed out that Kody and Robyn have consistently lived beyond their means, relying on the money earned by the other wives while spending recklessly on themselves. This included expensive purchases that didn't align with their supposed financial struggles, like Robyn's high-end items. Meanwhile, Janelle was living frugally, trying to save enough to build her own home, yet her financial sacrifices didn't seem to be reciprocated. At the time of this discussion, Coyote Pass wasn't fully paid off, but it was clear that the financial burden had been unfairly placed on the wives who were no longer in Kody's inner circle. Christine, having taken control of her own assets, was able to sell her house and leave without Kody having any legal claim to her money. She simply handed over her share of Coyote Pass and walked away. For Janelle and Mary, however, the situation was trickier. They had invested in a shared future that never materialized, leaving them at a disadvantage. While they likely won't fight for what they're owed, Gwendolyn believed they'd ultimately be better off now that they're no longer financially tied to Kody and Robyn's reckless spending habits. That's why he likely gets the biggest paycheck. Even though fans may want the show to move on without him, the reality is that Kody is the central figure tying all the storylines together. Gwendolyn acknowledged that now that Christine, Janelle, and Mary are free from Kody, they finally have the chance to earn and keep their own money. Without Kody funneling their earnings into his and Robyn's lifestyle, they can invest in themselves and their futures. The extended length of Season 19 also means a bigger payday for everyone involved. Since this is the longest season in the show's history, with over 20 episodes already aired, their salaries are likely higher than before. This financial boost explains why so many of them are now purchasing property and making significant investments. However, while everyone is earning more, it doesn't erase the financial mismanagement of the past. Kody and Robyn's ability to qualify for their large mortgage likely comes from having multiple seasons of steady income on paper. But taking on debt doesn't mean they're financially stable, it just means they have access to large loans. Gwendolyn also hinted at the idea that Kody's contract might be structured in a way that gives him a bigger cut than the rest of the cast. Since the entire show revolves around him, it's possible that he negotiated a higher salary than his ex-wives. While Christine, Janelle, and Mary played crucial roles, Kody is still considered the star, which likely means he's taking home the biggest paycheck. It sounds like a typical wrap-up for a YouTube video, where the creator encourages engagement, with likes, comments, and subscriptions. The main takeaway from this script is that Gwendolyn and others have long been aware of Kody and Robyn's financial habits, living beyond their means while benefiting from the earnings of the other wives. Over time, Christine, Janelle, and Mary seem to have realized that they don't need to stay silent or keep sweet about the unfairness. While no lawsuit has been filed regarding Coyote Pass, the financial inequality has become increasingly obvious, especially as Kody and Robyn's spending habits continue to be exposed. What do you think about the whole situation? Do you think Christine, Janelle, or Mary should take legal action to reclaim what they believe they're owed?